think in this country, we've taken a very liberal approach to mortality. And the intent is right now that if someone dies with COVID-19, we are counting that as a COVID-19 death.
John, if back to normal means acting like there never was a coronavirus problem, I don't think that's going to happen until we do have a situation where you can completely protect the population.
It is fair to say things won't go back to truly normal until we have a vaccine that we've gotten out to basically the entire world.
I just want to make a brief comment to get back to the discussion about the health disparities in the African-American community, because it really is very important.
Those who have always been at the short end of the stick in a moment of crisis, it becomes even more evident and in this case, even more fatal. So we've long had, just historically, because of a number of issues that are about systemic and institutional racism and just inequities across the board.
You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards.
We should be making it easier, not harder, to make sure to make sense to, I'll put it another way. It makes no sense.
So we just heard that these models showing death projections in the United States have fortunately been revised downward.
That's good news, but the thing we have to be careful of, that we don't then take that good news to think that we might be able to pull back a bit. We've got to continue, in many respects, to redouble our efforts at the mitigation of physical separation in order to keep those numbers down and hopefully even get them lower.
The next package, this is already being discussed, should include student debt relief for at least $10,000 per person.
To center the humanity of every individual, family, and worker, and that includes not leaving behind our undocumented and our uninsured.
And I don't think it's actually an overstatement to say that Donald Trump there are tens of thousands of people who will die in the country, or some of them have already died, more are still going to die because of Donald Trump's incompetence and lack of leadership.
These additional deaths, many of them are unnecessary. They are deaths of incompetence. They are deaths of science denial. They are deaths of inequality. And so it's important for us to acknowledge how unnecessary the level of crisis that we are at right now that is due to the incompetence of this administration.
I got to tell you, Donald Trump has blood on his hands, and he has my mom's blood on his hands.
Why is the president so convinced that this is the medication that needs to be stockpiled? What is in it for him? And let's face it, there's always something in it for this president when he wants to tout something. And so I'm very uncomfortable with this newfound love of hydroxychloroquine. I just don't understand it.
It's a case where we cannot let this, we've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health.